everyone, welcome to another week in our garden. Now, as we said last week, we're going to try and get the winter wash on these trees this week. Now, I have mixed it up ready. I'll just show the container so you know what I've sprayed it with. It's just Vitax winter tree wash. Now, this one's empty now. I have ordered another bottle because I do need to get that grapevine sprayed as well, so as soon as that comes we'll get the grapevine sprayed. I think there's enough in this container to do the fruit trees. As you can see, I've got the chickens down here, so before I start spraying I've got to take those up to the pen. We don't want to be spraying chicken. Just put the container up to the red mark, and then I'll just check the jet. I need it on quite a heavy jet because I really need to soak the tree. First thing to do is check your tree over, make sure there's no bud burst on it. If there's bud burst and it's showing a bit of green, I'm afraid you won't be able to do it this year. But you can see it's very dormant and ready, so we'll get some spray on it. Now the ground is still very wet, so we're having to stand on the mats so we don't sink into the soil. Right, here we go then. Put plenty on. Try, there is just a breeze of wind, so try and stay on the good side of the wind. You certainly don't want this on you. But really spray until you see it dripping all the way up to the top, until you see it run off. Don't forget to spray right up at the top, and spray it until it starts to run off, and stop at run off. Get right into those centres. There's a smidgen of wind on, so I might just stop for a minute. You can see this fungus that's growing on the branch there. Look. A good winter wash will take all that off and keep your bark nice and clean. So here we go again then. Try and get under the branches as well, everywhere you can. They spray to run off, it'll be fine. When you're mixing it, ready for spraying, don't forget to follow the manufacturer's recommendations for mixing. I'm afraid we need more pressure. Get it right up, that's it. I usually use the knapsack, but because I only had a little bit left in that bottle, I put it in this container, this spraying. Just got that bit there, and all this solid stuff. Right, I'll just do this side, and that's the apple tree done. Plenty on. Just do that other side then, and that's the apple done, yeah? Now that's the tree and Diane sprayed. I got into trouble for that. Now the other thing I've done this morning, I've re-greased the trunk. I don't know if you can see it down there. It's all nice, new and shiny, so that's been done. So we've sprayed, we've put new grease on it, and now I'm going to put a light dressing of sulphate of potash. It's potash to help with the fruiting of the tree this year. Now there's not a lot left in here. There's enough in there for both the apple tree and the plum tree. But you also need to do your fruit bushes, especially your currant bushes and your gooseberry bushes this time of year. A good feed of potash now and you'll get better fruit later on. It's quite important to get this on. Put it on, rake it in. So we'll do these two trees, and then when the next lot arrives we'll do the fruit in the fruit cage. Just sprinkle it on. I'll just do this side and show you, and then I'll go around this. Now I've kept it quite near the tree because it will actually wash out when the rains come. We've got quite a lot of rain coming, I do believe. The tree is already picking up nutrients and it'll pick that potassium up and we'll have some good fruit. Just rake the top just to tidy it up. The other thing I might do is put a couple of inch layer of leaf mould around it as well, and then that's it, finished for the season. Just rake it in roughly. It's no good trying to dig it because you'll damage the root. There you are. I'll just do the other side and then that's the apple tree done, ready for mulching. Just scatter it on. There you are, a little bit round here. That's it, out of that box I'm afraid. So there you are, that's the fruit tree with its winter wash, its new collar of grease and some feed on it. All it needs now is a bag of leaf mould just spreading around just to keep the weeds down. I've got to use leaf mould because we'll actually run out of manure now. Now we'll go up to the shed and with a few more seeds put in. And there's some seed in the shed I want to bring down to this greenhouse, but we'll finish the seeding in and then we'll bring it down and I'll show you what I've been up to in there potting on. Now we've come in the shed out of the cold a little bit. It's not a bad day, but it's a little bit chilly for the camera person. Now I'm going to put a few seeds in tomato, aubergine and peppers. Right, now there's tomatoes, sun gold, aubergine moneymaker number 2. It's a hybrid, so it should be alright. I'm new to me a little bit, aubergine. It's been a long time since I grew them. There's some peppers there from last year that we'll try and use up. Whether they'll grow or not, we'll have to wait and see. Now the peppers that we planted last week, I'm just looking across, there's nothing coming up, but we'll leave them for a few more days. So we'll keep set it, and they were new seed by the way, and they still haven't come up. So we'll set these old seeds and we'll put these seed in, and then we'll take the sweet peas, I think, and that lettuce, we'll take those down to the bottom greenhouse, put a tray on them and then just cover them up at night. They'll be fine. There's just a few of these peppers left. They did grow well last year, so hopefully they'll make it this year. Just tap a few in. We'll get rid of all the seed. I don't want to keep it again. It's very unusual for me to keep seed, but we've kept them, so we'll use them. Now we'll put the tomato seed in this one. You only get 15 seed, so it's no good putting them in a half tray. We'll sprinkle them into here. Just put a little case in that. Let's see how we go. 15 seed. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We got an extra seed. Aubergine, we got a few more. How many we got? 30 seed of these, so we'll put them in the half tray. About the same size as the tomato seeds. Just spread them. Now I don't want a lot of these, but we're going to put all the seed in because sometimes they don't always come. And if we do get quite a few, we'll send the young plants up to the village coffee morning. Somebody might want to grow some. Likewise the tomato plants that we don't have. Instead of putting some fine compost on top, we'll put some vermiculite on top of these, so we can see if there is a little bit of difference in germination. You just put a line across, look. It does hold the moisture in the top of the seed tray quite well, actually. You could, if you wanted, fill your seed tray with this as well, but it's as well just to cover the top. There you go. About the same. We'll level it up with the little bit more, and then we can get them done. Especially if you put it on with a scoop or something. You try and do it by hand, it goes all over the place. This one should be easy, look. There you go. Put a decent layer on, we'll soon get through it. Remember that if you're doing this and you come to spray the water on, don't get too close with the sprayers because you actually blow this off. So you have to be a little bit careful watering. Water from the bottom if you're a little bit unsure. There you are, there's plenty on there. Look. I'll just flatten those seeds down to push the seeds into the compost, and I think that'll do. Just a little bit of pressure just pushes the seed into the compost a bit. Now this compost was preheated and it was moistened, should we say, before we started. I'll just do that the other way. It doesn't quite fit in that one, no? Just press it down, push those seeds into the compost. That's fine. Now we gently spray over. With your sprayer, just very gently moisten it. Don't go too hard, else you'll cover your camera person with it. You can see it changing colour when it moistens. And then we just put tickets in. Remember to keep this water in the prop if you can, to keep it warm. Just a gentle squeeze. A good wetting. That's your peppers, the tomatoes, because we didn't get many tomatoes, did we? And those are your aubergines. Now we'll transfer these to the prop, plenty of room, and then we'll take the sweet pea and the lettuce out and we'll take them down there. Now over the last about a week now, I've kept the top off the prop and I've turned the thermostat down on the thermostat heater, so it just keeps the temperature a little lower because we don't want too much of a shock for them when we take them down into the greenhouse. We'll put these in the far prop. Let's put the labels to the centre, because you put the labels to the edge, you tend to knock them with the covers. With those new seeds in there, we'll take these out. You see those sweet peas? Sweet peas are quite tough as well, so we'll take those down to the bottom. This side, that's the thermometer that switches the heater on and off. So we'll push it into that one now. This hasn't germinated. We'll put them in that one for a while. We'll give them another few days, and if they don't, we'll turn that tray out, I think. The other thing I'm taking out, as you can see, the onions are doing fine, but are not quite ready for those down there. We have a storm coming and don't really want those down. The lettuce can go down. They're a little tougher as well. It's going to pop 2 empty trays in to keep the heat in the propagator. Now you can see how quiet it's gone since we switched the light off. It's got a fan in it, so you can hear the fan on the video. That was the fan in the bottom of the light. Now I do put the lids on at night because it gets very, well, it won't get awfully cold in this corner because the shed is very well insulated, but it just cools down a little bit too much. Last night we had quite a hard frost here this morning, but it's only got down to 5 degrees in the shed, but I cover them up anyway at night. Now, as we'll switch the light back on before we go, and we'll take these sweet peas and lettuce down to the bottom greenhouse, and we'll show you what we've been doing down there. Now, while we was in the shed, I just popped the thermometer in the soil to see what the soil temperature is down here, and it's 4 degrees Celsius, far too cold to do anything with it yet. Alright, we've made our way down to the bottom greenhouse. It's very, very warm in here because we're directly facing south, and we have a good strong wall behind us that absorbs the heat, and then at night it radiates the heat and keeps these plants frost free. I'll just show you how I'm doing with the potting on from the overwintered and the cuttings we took in the autumn. These are some of the pots we overwintered. I have done some, as you can see here. These are some of the overwintered plants that we pushed several into a pot. Now I've taken them out those pots and planted them, and they're individual plants now. Now all these here are the cuttings we took in the autumn. I don't know if you can remember. All doing quite well. No heat in here at all, and they've all rooted down nicely. Now we'll pop these 2 into these trays. I can't get 2 into one of these trays, so they'll have to go in individuals, and I'll just put a cover over them to settle them down, and I think we'll just give them a drink of water as well. This is water that I keep in here, so it's the same temperature as the greenhouse, so there's no shock. It's quite warm actually, the water. And then we'll just pop these covers on them for now. Now, late afternoon, early evening, every day I come down and I put a fleece over all this. And then I come down in the morning once the sun's up, because the early sun really does come through fast, and then I take the fleece off. If it's going to stay a cold day, leave the fleece on. There is no heat in here, it's all done to radiating the heat out there. So that'll be it for this week. Many thanks for watching. Thank you very much for subscribing, we do appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you next week, where we'll put some seed in and we'll do a garden walk on the progress of all the beds ready for planting, okay?